What's up, guys? Today, after many hours of playing the update that hopes to revive the game that everybody forgot about, I wanted to talk about what chance Destiny 2 has to make a comeback. By this point, everyone knows the disappointment that Destiny 2 was. The mediocrity, staleness, and just unexciting nature of the multiplayer made the game feel like a chore to play after the initial theatrics. The player base has dropped drastically, the Twitch directory is pretty much non-existent, and the game is dead on YouTube. Yet, Bungie promised to change all that. In this update, they tried to bring back the excitement by returning a lot of what made Destiny 1's gameplay and Crucible entertaining. A faster time to kill, increased movement speed, more power ammo, and Rumble free-for-all were added. And the hope was this would return the so-called hero moments that were missing from the game at launch. As someone who put hundreds upon hundreds of hours into Destiny 1, I was interested but skeptical going into this. But after playing the last few days, I think I have a pretty strong opinion on how this update affects the game and if it is really enough to re-energize the community. There are some definite improvements to the gameplay of Destiny's multiplayer. Supers in general work better, both in their abilities to be acquired multiple times and their actual effectiveness when in use. The Arcstrider super is much more powerful, moving more quickly in attacks and animations. This combined with the area of effect increases just make it much more viable than it was previously in my opinion. Dawnblade is very enjoyable to use, flying around the map at crazy speeds with an increased duration, and you feel much more powerful than pre-update. These are, in my opinion, the best changes made in this update, as they do a lot to fulfill the power fantasy that we all wanted to experience when playing Destiny 2. They sort of kind of harken back to the effectiveness of Destiny 1 supers, not quite as powerful, but still there, and they're welcome changes. Movement changes are also a nice improvement. The increased character acceleration is not super noticeable, but I do think it leads to a slight increase in the speed that duels occur at. It could just be me experiencing that, and I'm probably wrong, but I think I do feel that. And the faster movement modes for the Titan and Warlock help speed up combat slightly. Another addition that at first I didn't like, but I actually love now is 8-man free-for-all. So yes, there's a lot of issues with it. The slow time to kill plus the cluttered spawn system often lead to you getting pushed as soon as you manage to finish someone off, and it can still be extremely frustrating. But it is more hectic, faster, and overall it's more fun than any game mode in the game. After playing Rumble for a few hours and getting off, I found myself actually looking forward to hopping back on and trying it out again, which is something I don't think I've ever said about the game, and I think that's pretty indicative of a fun game mode there. So while these are a lot of good changes, that's pretty much where that list ends. Power ammo increases are something, and I don't mean to say they're bad, they're actually good. But the system itself is still extremely frustrating if you enjoy playing with any of the power weapon types. The weapon time to kill changes are fairly unnoticeable, which is disappointing because it was honestly the thing I was looking forward to the most. All the times to kill are still higher than Destiny 1, and thanks to this, the game still feels slow despite the movement changes. I often find myself shooting at someone only for them to recognize it and run away just as I'm about to finish them off. And it's still near impossible to take out multiple people at a time if they're somewhat competent. When in Destiny 1, I would have a chance to outplay them if I hit all my shots. Hero moments aren't back in this way, and in general, the Crucible feels tweaked and slightly improved, but not overhauled like the update led us to believe. Now, I can't say anything conclusive about 6v6 because it'll be coming into the game when Iron Banner arrives in a couple of weeks. But from what I predict and from what I think from playing the new Rumble game mode, I think it will be an improvement. 6v6 will help increase the speed of the game, and obviously there will be more players on the map. And if going for multi-kills is your thing, I think that the potential will be much higher when you have power ammo. But at the same time, 6v6 I feel will also amplify some of the problems still present in the game. The slow time to kill with primaries will be even more punishing when you have to contend with multiple people more often, and team shotting will be more common, especially given the fact that Iron Banner is a much more competitive game mode than others, and people really want to win in Iron Banner, so that might not be a good combination. But regardless, I'm still super excited to play it, and I see the promise it holds, but for now I'll remain reserved. So the question is this enough? Is a small improvement to the game sandbox enough to justify people coming back to the game? My answer is both yes and no. For someone who's been looking for a reason to come back and play, this is definitely a good opportunity. There are some nice changes, and it's worth testing it out yourself if you're interested. As I listed before, there are a few things that really made me want to come back, want to keep playing, especially Rumble, especially the power fantasy and the supers, and that I think is a significant enough change for you to come back if you want to come back. However, if you generally moved on to other games, I don't see this update as being the beacon of light that will make you love Destiny 2. As much as this is a step in the right direction, it is quite a small one, and for the amount of time we have to wait for the next update, I would say don't bother until then. If you never really liked Destiny 2, if you didn't really see any potential in it, this isn't going to blow you away. It's just a slight improvement on what was already there. So the update is not a bad one, but for how long it took, I can't say I'm not disappointed. It just takes too long for Bungie to make sandbox changes, and if they don't knock it out of the park each time, it's a frustrating few months that we have to wait every time. A small step forward is great for a game whose developer consistently works on improving gameplay, but for Bungie, who seemingly either has their priorities set on Destiny 3 or is just bogged down with old technology, it's simply not enough. I don't expect this will do too much to reinvigorate the player base after everyone's had their turn testing it out. And while Destiny 2 isn't a game without potential, it's looking a bit more slim after this. When I asked for general feedback on Twitter on how people thought about the update, the answers were kind of mixed as well. There were a few people that enjoyed it. Nobody was really blown away, but I saw a lot of people still saying they don't enjoy it. They didn't enjoy it from the beginning, and this update didn't really change it for them. So if that's what Bungie was hoping for, they didn't do quite enough. I'm personally going to continue playing the game for a while longer though, and if anything changes, I'll let you guys know. I think I'm going to be playing Rumble a little bit more consistently because, as I said, I'm having a good time on it, and yeah, that's pretty much it. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. A like always helps, and let me know down below what you think of the update so far. I've gotten some responses on Twitter, but I'd really like to see what everyone else thinks. Be sure to subscribe for future videos every Saturday. I have a Destiny 1 montage coming up next week, and hopefully a Destiny 1 and 2 montage the week after, if it gets done in time. They're both looking pretty good, so I wouldn't miss them if I were you. So anyways, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.